Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 Mocks of the Week episode. Normally I don't do this intro on camera, but I just did want to say from the last couple of weeks I have been noticing that you guys have been following and supporting and subscribing to the people that I've been mentioning in our Top 10 Mocks episodes, which is awesome. I just see supportive comments, really good constructive criticism, and all around really good vibes. So I just noticed you guys were doing that, and I wanted to say thank you. That's awesome. I'm glad that we have a YouTube channel like this and in a community like this, as opposed to something else. I'm just glad that you guys are doing what you're doing and I'm doing what I'm doing. And now let's jump into the mock that we built this week. So that would be the minifig scale U-Wing designed by the creator Caleb Ricks. It's an excellently designed model and comes with two different possible color combinations that you can build in. If you'd like to get the instructions, you can check out our web store at www.brickvault.toys. And before we jump into the top 10 mocks of the week, remember you can submit mocks of your own to our email. That's also in the description below if you want to learn more on how to do that. All of the Flickr accounts are linked in the description as well for all the pictures that you're going to see today. And now let's jump into the very first build. This is titled Ancient Warriors by the builder Verde, and what we have here are some slightly upscaled brick-built figures. They look like they're in something similar to samurai or kendo armor, and perhaps resting just a little bit above that of a standard minifigure. It's almost like what a minifigure would look like if they were in a little bit of some heavy-duty exo armor. Personally, I love the building techniques though. The stances look particularly animated. The shoulder pauldrons with those little Robin Hood hats are a fun touch, and I also like the use of the ray guns built into the arms. Remember, this Flickr and everybody's Flickr is linked in the description below. And here is the number 2 of the build, or sorry, number 9 I guess in the countdown. This is from Simon NH, and it's Hedwig from Harry Potter. Not only do we have a wonderful build for the owl itself, I love the scattered feathers as the wings splay out, but we also get to guess which part of the picture was photoshopped, because this Lego creature is definitely not flying. This isn't captured in still life. I have a feeling it was probably clipped onto something, like its feet. But anyways, the effect is amazing. I love the wing pieces used to outline the kind of poofiness of the face, and just kind of this scattered bit of building used as the technique for those flailing out feathers just looks amazing. And then this next build from Eero Okkonen has been making the rounds with enthusiasts all week. This is Slimefoot the Stowaway, and he's a character or a card from Magic the Gathering. I never played. I think my brothers played, and honestly I don't remember this character at all, but this is the main artwork that I believe this character was based off of. So quite interesting to say the least, but there's also something about this guy that kind of reminds me of the Radish spirit from Spirited Away. The inclusion of the weird little mushroomy friends was a nice touch, I suppose, and I don't really know what else to say about this funky fungus build. Now let's move on to the number 7 of the day. It's another Harry Potter themed build. This one is really fun. It's by Maxime Cheng, and currently I don't know if there is a title for this build, but you can see a giant Dementor and another Dementor in the back, but they're flying over a micro scale version of Hogwarts Castle. Now the reason why I chose this is I just saw some really good uses of some small fun pieces here. Personally, I love the pistol pieces that are made for the fingers. It makes those grip, that kind of that gnarled finger hand gesture look a little bit more intimidating. And then a true stroke of genius here with that frilly bit of neck whatever that kind of goes underneath a minifigure head, that kind of old style formal dress piece that I can't remember which guy he appeared on. Anyways, 2 of those are used as the outline of the white teeth in the blackened out face. That's such a good bit of building. I'm hard guessed to say maybe that is the seed piece for this build. It looks like that is certainly a good draw for inspiration. And wait a second, how did this picture get in here? Why is there just a random USB picture? Oh wait, no, that's actually number 6 in this build. Believe it or not, that is a massively upscaled USB charger. I don't know why or how people can get something to look so good. I mean, part of the reason is because it's upscaled, so when you zoom in nice and close, you can see that little symbol is made up of a couple of bar pieces and some 1x1s, that little 2x2 round tile. I don't believe they're studded into the build. They might just be resting on top of that smooth, flat surface of the white tiles. But yeah, you've got a photorealistic, nearly photorealistic version of a USB charging cable. I don't know why. I don't know why not. And the builder, by the way, sorry, is Joffre. I forgot to mention that. If there's any really large scale photorealistic builds that I don't know about, guys, link them in the comment section below, because these ones I always find super interesting. For the number 5 build, I wouldn't say this is interesting so much as just kind of peculiar. We have Santa as well as his reindeer. There's no official title, I suppose, for these builds, just kind of some odd, funny little caricatures that make up it looks like a snowman Santa, if I'm correct, right? We've got the orange piece for the carrot like the nose, and his body's all white, the coal for the eyes, but there's something that feels a little bit detached and somewhat eerie or creepy about this Santa Claus. I just found it peculiar, and also the build for the arms just look awkward. It's kind of funny. He switches out the little Technic pieces depending on what he needs Santa to do. I don't know why Santa needs 2 whips in this picture, but either way, you know, the holiday season is coming up. We're probably gonna have at least one Christmas or holiday themed build in each of these weekly episodes all the way up until the end of the year. So this is the one from delayice for this episode. Kind of a strange one. Now number 4 gets a little bit more back on track. We've all seen gigantic spaceship builds before, and this one is particularly impressive. Coming from the designer Patrick Massey, we have the UNN 717 Olympia. The builder was kind enough to give quite a nice description as to how this gigantic ship came to be. Roughly over 1 year in the process to get this thing standing, and heck, I'm just gonna call it a late September build. We might as well. He says it's the first one he's actually done, the first build he's done all year. The cheese wedge design that makes up the UNN 717 on the side looks great. I do like that contrast of sand green and the dark bluish gray, and also the 1x3 tiles that you see all along the edge, they're actually partially sunken into the body of the ship, so there's a little bit more of a complex connection that we have going there. We just can't quite figure out how you put it in there. Probably light pieces, headlight pieces, I'm not totally sure, but either way, it is one heck of an impressive behemoth. Anyways, let's jump into the top 3. Robert Heim has done something, I don't know how to describe it. It's like he's done a build that I feel like I should have seen a long time ago, but he's just done it better, or nobody else has quite pulled it off the way he has here. This is Space Truck 2. He says there's a second one. I kind of looked through, I couldn't really quite find the space truck he was referring to before, but we have some awesome build techniques kind of rounded over with a really interesting design style. You can definitely see a classic Mack truck design thrown into this build. I mean, it even says Mack in the front. There's the grill there. We've got the 2 giant exhausts on either side, the floodlights. I really love that the actual shape of the ship, I think that is indeed a single piece normally used for an airplane, but it fits really well with this. It's kind of like a train Mack truck. I mean, it's hard to tell because it really is a space truck, so who knows how these things work, but the huge rocket thrusters on either side of the front of the body just work so well. The curves that come around over the top that match up with the piece for the airplane and then come around to the rockets on the sides, it's just that wonderful smooth connection. And I think keeping the cargo containers as cylinders to kind of keep the roundness going through the entire bit of the build, it just makes it very pleasing to look at, and it's probably the best space truck I've ever seen, though I can't say I've seen a ton. Anyways, let's move on to number 2. alanboar has built something quite incredible. This is the Teikoo Ropeway as depicted in a very old piece of art. This is in fact the first cable car of Hong Kong, and I believe it existed like over 100 years ago. The particular build style is to mimic that of what the artwork or the original picture kind of looked like, and you can see this a bit evident in the way that this was designed, because the scrolls are opening up or rolling outwards on either side of the build. Like, this is in fact the piece of art itself. So there's an interesting kind of creative liberty taken here, where you can see a bunch of tiny little white trees, and all of the people too, they almost blend into the background itself. They're all totally monochrome white, or nearly totally monochrome white. And what's even more interesting is that he says he built this with his family in under 3 weeks, so that's pretty impressive. It's a very massive build. It's kind of interesting that it's sort of a family project too. I just really like the story behind this build and the concept and the execution. It's all quite wonderful. And when it comes to the number 1 build, there's a lot of great techniques used here. This is called Portal Wizard by Chris Perron. Not only is this an expertly taken photograph with nice lighting, but there's lots of detail to be included all around the whole scenery. I love the engine pieces used that make up, they kind of alternate back and forth towards each other to make that interesting sort of design for the columns on the outside. But really what captures me the best is, of course, the forced perspective from that center portal. What you're looking at is a castle in the distance, but it's all brick built. So this is all part of one gigantic MOC. I have no idea how far out that goes. I would love to see a making of, or maybe some side photos to know exactly how that this entire effect was captured. But needless to say, it's a flawless design. Even the setting sun that's kind of dusk out there, and it's a totally different light. It's a totally different feel on the other side of the portal, and you've got some weird, nasty, kind of really intimidating alternate portals that don't seem to be open at that time. I just love it. The wizard pointing out there with the corresponding color from his staff for the energy and the blue on the outside. Just so many fun details. It's an expert design. I absolutely love it. Now, that is it for the top 10 MOCs of the week. Remember, guys, check out their flickers. There's a lot of other unnamed flickers as well that I've left in the description too for builds that are just kind of flashing by the screen now, so check those out as well. And all right, it is now time for the top 10 MOCs of the week. Remember, if you want to submit pictures to us, check out the mail that's also in the description. Everything's in the description. And now I'm out, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Here are the here are the fan MOCs of the week. Oh, hey guys, just popping in very quick to let you know that we have a Lego web store, www.brickvault.toys, where we sell the PDF step-by-step instructions for some very high-quality MOCs built by some incredibly talented designers that we work with from all around the world. So anyways, if you want to help support the channel, www.brickvault.toys, you get some really cool stuff. Definitely worth checking out. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.